This is GJRB. Now, GJRB presents the Gary Russen program, the original news talk program. Call Gary J. Russen right now on the Skype line at gary.russen, or contact him on the GJRB chat room by clicking the balloon icon on the GJRB Spreaker widget on the Spreaker public site and on Twitter. Now, the Gary Russen program. And hello everyone, hello everywhere across America and around the world. Welcome to the Gary Russen program on GJRB. Got a great show lined up for you with some great stuff talking about what's going on in the news and around the world. If you want to check it out, we got a great show, so stay with me today. The Gary Russen program starts right after the news. And cranking up our news this afternoon is a threat against, Vice President Pence. A National Guardsman is arrested after allegedly making a threat to kill Vice President Pence, and were paid right at the right price. Story even more troubling is that it occurred during the Vice President was in Shanksville, Pennsylvania on Monday, commemorating the 16th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. Pence gave a keynote remarks on September 11th, observing the ceremony held at Flight 93's National Memorial. Afterward, he took a tour of Flight 93's National Memorial Visitor Center and participated in the wreath lying ceremony with friends and family of the fallen. And that's sad, just kind of low life. Doing that, we're talking about that. Biggest news also is that Pope Francis says that climate change denial, man is stupid. In a story that has a, we're going to talk about this on the Gary Russen program, that's for sure. The Pope says that man is stupid because he denies global warming. After the catastrophe of hurricanes, which remainder that humans are not particularly smart species, according to the Pope. He said on Sunday while flying overseas to the Caribbean after the decimated Hurricane Irma. He said, man is stupid, referring to the passage of the Old Testament, which according to the New York Times, Associated Press, when you don't want to see, you don't want to see. And, okay, we'll have that story coming up and a whole lot more, plus stock market report coming up a little later on this afternoon. We're going to have the Gary J's News and Comment coming up after 3 o'clock. This is GJRB News. You hear great jazz on GJRB with the best of jazz, up-and-coming jazz, and smooth afternoon. If you can't get enough of jazz and you live in the Quad Cities area, tune in to KALA, St. Ambrose University in Davenport, Iowa, at 88.5 on the FM dial. Along with some of that great smooth jazz, you'll hear a lot of great jazz programming. And programming in other great music formats. Like blues, urban, including rap. Also classic R&B and Motown with David Baker on Rewind, Friday nights at 6 p.m. Central. In addition, you get programming in Spanish and some great gospel programming too. For more information on that great programming you'll hear, check out their schedule at www.sau.edu/KALA. Even if you don't live in the Quad Cities area, you can enjoy KALA anywhere in the world with their internet stream. Connect with KALA. Listen and enjoy. In other news this afternoon, sorry about that, folks. In other news this afternoon, flames engulfed a elementary school on Tuesday night. The flames shooting out of an elementary school at Lee Elementary Technology, just north of downtown Tampa. And I don't know the results of that story, and I don't know exactly what's going on with that, but I'll keep an eye on that. Really breaking news this afternoon. Enjoy news and comments. And we'll have all the details on that story again, like I said, during news and comment. And while we got time, let's do a stock market check from the Talk FM news desk right now, and see what's going on in the stock market from the CNN stock market ticker. Let's see, U.S. stocks right now. Before we go, our U.S. stocks right now, Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 19 points, 19.92. The Nasdaq down 1 point, 1.92, and the S&P down 0.65. Next news at the bottom of the hour with an update of what's going to be on news and comment and when news breaks. The bottom of the top of the clock, keeping you on top. GJRB News on the hour. I'm Gary J. Russen at the GJRB News Desk. Coming to GJRB, the program highlighting the artists that play on GJRB. Artist Showcase. The first show featuring the music of Samuel Day. We'll talk about him and his music and the songs he wrote and recorded, including his latest hit on the GJRB playlist, The Roses. In addition, you'll hear all the other Samuel Day songs. Click and listen to the podcast of the Artist Showcase. Uploaded and published on the GJRB Spreaker Public site Friday night, September 22nd at 8 p.m. Central. America's street music is back on GJRB Bluegrass with the Grassgolds, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys, and so much more. So it's time to bring it back, and on more often. It's Bluegrass Jubilee Freestyle, with all the great songs you heard before, and some new up-and-coming stars with some emerging bluegrass. Also, some all-time gospel favorites, too. At a brand new time, every third Saturday at 12 noon Central on GJRB. Next news at the bottom of the hour. Get Rose's praised, you're recovered and informed. Yeah, just like that new theme. Yeah, that's our new theme. Just for some reason, ever since I got this new system, it just seems like for some reason I can't seem to balance out my sound. And if I turn it up any louder, it will get bumpy for some reason. I don't know what the heck is going on, but been having this problem for some time and don't know why. And I have to crank my microphone all the way up in order for me to hear. And then what happens is I feed back at myself. So, you know, I just have to speak up a little bit more or something like that. Anyway, welcome to the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online on Spreaker, our Wednesday edition. We haven't done this show in ages. The middle of the road, over the hump day edition of the Gary Russen program is on the air here on GJRB. Welcome to the program. We have a great show lined up for you today. Hope you'll stay with me. We're going to talk a lot about what's in the news over the past couple of weeks or so, or last week or so, since we've done our new show, which is the Gary Russen Program Extra. And as you heard the theme earlier, that's the theme we use. That's our brand new theme of the Gary Russen Program. I like it. It's fabulous. It's just more innovative, outgoing, and hoping that maybe perhaps with this theme, I could get more listeners. they might get attracted to the sound. They might get attracted to the theme of this program. So what about that? What do you think about that? I like this theme. I really do. I think it's pretty cool. It has a great sound to it. It's more upbeat, even though it sounds like some of the music you might hear on, let's say, a top 40 station now. But I guess it really, let's see what folks think of it, and I hope you're enjoying the program. Welcome aboard the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. If you want to get on the act, we'll have that. I usually open up the Skype and get online about past the 2:30 break. So before they know it, we just want to kind of talk about some things that's been going on. What do you think about this whole thing last night? We were talking about last 7 days this morning, which you'll hear later on. I'm going to be uploading that tonight. Really, the telethon for the hurricane. Did you? Now, I like Stevie Wonder. I got nothing against the guy. He had fabulous hits in the 70s. He was he was incredible, and I mean, I believe that he is spiritually a man of God. But they are all out to on this liberal, the so-called this liberal ride, this liberal bull, this whole liberal bull about global warming. And the fact that the hurricane was caused by it, and the hurricanes are caused by it, and that we are fools if we don't believe it. See, this is brainwashing. Okay, they put this stuff in your head. They put these programs on the air in your head, and they screw up your brain with this crap. Okay? It's not global warming. Look in your Bible. Come on. It says in Revelations that we're going to have bad weather. We're going to have evil weather. We're going to have weather's going to be more fierce. This is God's judgment. It's not global warming. Okay? It's global warming because you know you're being judged. Okay? It's global warming because you know you're being judged. There's no doubt about it. Don't put a label on it. I mean, this is what really kills me, because I sit there going, okay, I didn't really watch it. I didn't really care to watch the liberal bull. That's what it is. This whole telethon was about 3.5, maybe 4 hours of liberal bull. There's no doubt about it, because it's just brainwashing. And then we have the Pope, who says the climate change denial amidst catastrophe and hurricanes, reminded that humans are not particularly smart species. See, the Pope is bringing us down. The human being, the human race, Pope is sitting there and bringing us down. Man is stupid, he says. In reference to a passage of the Old Testament, according to the New York Times, the Associated Press, when you don't want to see, you don't see. The correspondence of the crux. Now, this article goes on to state that the pontiff's comments, a man is stupid, a hard-headed being who doesn't see. And then he attacked Donald Trump in several issues, including climate change. He also urged the climate skeptics of the world to consult with scientists. He wants us to consult with scientists, because scientists know more than God. See, how about that? This is why this guy's screwed in the head. Okay, I'm sorry. I was raised Catholic and all that. And yeah, I'll get to respect the Pope, but I disagree with the Pope here. Why would this man why would this Pope call man stupid? Okay, now I'm gonna go to maybe what I say a lot of times when I call the liberals stupid. Okay, maybe you got your point there. But here's a man who says we're stupid because we're denying global warming. We have to. If we disagree with him, we're nuts. We're dumb. We're stupid. We disagree with them, you see. So the liberals do the same thing as the conservatives. I've said it many times, how many times I think that liberals are just plain stupid because, Archie Bunker called Mike Stivic a meathead, for a reason, because he was technically a meathead, stupid. Okay? But, again, I have to re-account for what I say because, quite frankly, I've been feeling kind of, let's say, judged myself, convicted, because of a recent posting on Facebook in which I stated, and this was aimed at the looters, which we'll be talking about in a little while, the looters that broke into a shoe store. I think it was, I guess it was Miami. Yeah, I believe it was Miami. It was WPLG, Channel 10, ABC affiliate there, caught them on camera breaking into a shoe store and stealing these high-end, expensive tennis shoes. All right? Okay? Now, this is what kills me about this one now. Okay? Because I'm going, wait a minute here now. Is there any reason to go and steal tennis shoes and in a storm, hurricane, storm, okay, steal shoes, okay, which I think is utterly ridiculous and stupid to go and steal shoes, right? Especially high-end shoes. If you're in a hurricane with extensive damage, and what do you steal? What do you steal? Tennis shoes? I mean, was that highly worth it? I mean, was it what was that worth it to steal high-end tennis shoes? Wouldn't you kind of maybe perhaps let's see, maybe grab some food out of the grocery store if you're going to loot? But to go and steal a pair of stupid tennis shoes, which high-end shoes, I mean, what's so great about them? What's so great about them? I mean, really. Gotta know, though. Seriously. What's so great about these shoes? You have to. Anyway, I just have a buzzing in my system that is annoying, and really nothing I can do about it to fix it. So I guess I'll just have to put up with it. That's all there is to it. I don't know. I think one of these days I'll be working with a friend of mine who works with this kind of stuff, and I'm going to see if he can build me a better system than this. Seriously thinking about building a better system than the one I've got, because this is just not working right. It always makes this god-awful noise. Now getting buzzing through my system, and I don't know where it's coming from, so I don't know. I just don't care. If you hear buzzing, ignore it. There's nothing I can do to fix it. It's there. Okay? Along with that strange bumping noise. And if I crank it up any higher, that's what I'll get. So that's all there is to it. There's really nothing I can do to fix it. Okay? Really nothing I can do to fix it. It's there, and I have to put up with it. So I'm just going to maybe just turn down the monitor I use in my head and just do it that way, because, quite frankly, there's no way of fixing this. Would have weather in the news. Don't have any this time around, but we'll look for some weather in the news next hour. And find some other things to talk about here on the show. And I'm glad you could be with me this afternoon. I'm Gary J. Russen. Welcome to the Gary Russen program. And we got a lot to do, so why don't we get started on our program today. And like I said before, you hear buzzing in the background, just ignore it. I don't know. I'm going to do some rewiring. We're going to be off the air next week for maintenance, and I'm going to do some wiring. And if I'm on the air next week, it'll be some test broadcast to fix some of the issues that I'm having with with it at this point. So I don't know. I just have to put up with it for now. But I'm going to do some wiring here and see what we can do. Maybe I can fix this dumb, stupid wiring system. I don't know. I just keep... he came in here, and now we got this modem. And we've been having trouble on top of that of losing internet. Every once in a while it'll drop. So if for any reason during today's broadcast I go off the air, I will be back as soon as possible. As soon as I can. Okay? Because for some reason I am... we've been having trouble over the past couple of days with the internet dropping. And I don't know if there's any way we can fix this issue, but I'm going to be working on that, and I will let you know what comes out of that. We've been contacting our cable company that provides us with our internet, and they are coming over next week to have a look and see maybe perhaps what's resulting in the in our drop-offs. Our internet drop-offs. I don't know why we are going down, but every once in a while, if I do drop, and for any reason I get knocked off the air, I will be back. Okay, so it'll be back within about a few seconds. So just be patient, and we'll get back on the air ASAP. Okay. Because it's just the internet issue we've been dealing with over the past couple of days, and we don't know where it's coming from. It could be a splitter, it could be anything. So hang in there, okay? If I get knocked off the air, I will be right back. Okay. All right, let's see the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online here on Spreaker. Glad you could be aboard with me today on our middle of the week show. Technical problems and all, and glad you could be aboard with me today. We've got a lot of really good stuff coming up, and we're going to be opening up our Spreaker lines here in a little bit, and we'll chat with you, and we'll have a good time talking today. So I hope you'll come on in and be a part of the program and listen to some of the stuff we've got, and just have a really darn good blast here today, here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker. We'll have some sports, little sports page, and talking about Kaepernick and all this garbage, all the crybabies. I was just thinking of this the other day. I was watching the Dallas football game the other night, and I said I'd watch some football. I pick and choose the teams I watch. I pretty much do. Pittsburgh Steelers, sometimes the Bears, sometimes. I used to be a 49er fan, no more. Not because that's because of Kaepernick, the big crybaby, okay? Do not care for him, and quite frankly, don't really care what he thinks or anything like that, because look what he's doing to himself. I mean, really, what's Kaepernick doing but, causing a lot of fans to say, don't want anything to do with him. That's all there is to it. You know what I mean? Let's do weather on the 5s. Right now, take a look at some of the national weather. The post-tropical cyclone Irma will continue to weaken, and it is weakening. And the lift northwestward, it'll lift northwestward, that's what it's doing right now, through today. Moderate to locally heavy rain in the mid-south and southeast. And this then will lift to the Ohio Valley and Middle Atlantic by Wednesday. Some of the heavier rainfall may produce flash flooding. Isolated thunderstorms will also be possible in the Mid-Atlantic. And that's due to that hurricane. It's moving up. Remembrance of it. So whatever's left of Hurricane Irma is heading up. And pretty much that's what's going on with that. Whatever's left of Irma there. So we'll keep an eye on that. And of course, we'll give you all your weather information right here on GJRB Online. I'm Gary J. Russen. Hope you're enjoying the program. Be right back with more of the Gary Russen program in just a moment. Stay with me. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end-time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast Wednesdays and run live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB. Coming to GJRB, a program highlighting the artists that play on GJRB. Artist Showcase. The first show featuring the music of Samuel Day. We'll talk about him and his music and the songs he wrote and recorded, including his latest hit on the GJRB playlist, The Roses. In addition, you'll hear all the other Samuel Day songs. Click and listen to the podcast of the Artist Showcase. Uploaded and published on the GJRB Spreaker Public site Friday night, September 22nd at 8 p.m. Central.
Website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
Suicide's increasing among the youth, and many of them playing suicide games. This has to stop. Parents, watch your kids, and if you feel there's something going on and they are considering suicide, please talk to them, help them. And if it seems hopeless, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number is 1-800-273-8255. They can help. It's free and confidential. Your call will be answered by a trained counselor in a local crisis center. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline can help. Stay with me. Got more stuff coming up on the Gary Russen program on GJRB. Yeah, I've got a lot of really good things to talk about. Getting into that next half hour, we'll be inviting you to call in as well, and we're going to open up the lines, and we're going to also do some scroll through social media, all coming up in the next half hour of the Gary Russen program. GJRB. Yeah, be right back. Got a lot going on. Yeah, we've got news. Let's take a look at our news headlines coming up next on GJRB Online. I'm Gary J. Russen with you. Good afternoon. And from the news desk, we're covering some of these stories. The Pope Francis says that climate change deniers are stupid people. He stated that on Sunday that flying over the seas of the Caribbean was decimated by Hurricane Irma. The man is stupid, he said, referring to the passages of the Old Testament. We'll talk about that story. Also, a National Guardsman was accused of making a threat against Mike Pence on Monday during the 9/11 memorial event. That story, plus late-breaking stories coming up, and also including some of the stories we got coming up in the next half hour. Fire raging through an elementary school in Tampa, Florida. Also, the national debt's going to top $20 trillion. These stories all coming up in the next half hour on GJRB. End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end-time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast Wednesdays and run live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB. Coming to GJRB, a program highlighting the artists that play on GJRB. Artist Showcase. The first show featuring the music of Samuel Day. We'll talk about him and his music and the songs he wrote and recorded, including his latest hit on the GJRB playlist, The Roses. In addition, you'll hear all the other Samuel Day songs. Click and listen to the podcast of the Artist Showcase. Uploaded and published on the GJRB Spreaker Public site Friday night, September 22nd at 8 p.m. Central.
Website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
Suicide's increasing among the youth, and many of them playing suicide games. This has to stop. Parents, watch your kids, and if you feel there's something going on and they are considering suicide, please talk to them. Help them. And if it seems hopeless, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number is 1-800-273-8255. They can help. It's free and confidential. Your call will be answered by a trained counselor in a local crisis center. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline can help. End times are upon us, and we need to know what's happening. Knowing the truth is key to survival. There are lots of news events going on in the world that have certain significance to end-time happenings. Listen, as men and women gather to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy on Watch. Pray. For we not know what hour the Son of God will return. Prophecy. New World Order. Terrorism. Economic collapse. Wars. Pest. Israel. When they say peace, then cometh sudden destruction. Earthquakes. Volcanic eruptions. End time headlines at www.endtimeheadlines.org. Watch. Pray. For we not know what hour the Son of God will return. Prophecy. New World Order. Terrorism. Economic collapse. Wars. Pest. Israel. When they say peace, then cometh sudden destruction. Earthquakes. Volcanic eruptions. End time headlines at www.endtimeheadlines.org. Strange things in the sky and around the world. Strange beings sighted. What's going on? All around us, conspiracy theories are being discussed. This is the show all about the strange things that are way out there. I'm Gary Russen, and this Way Out There's back with more weird stories of the strange and the bizarre. Keep looking up in the sky and let me know what you see. Way out there. Every third Friday at 2 o'clock Central on GJRB. We all run a busy schedule, and maybe we don't have time to catch the Gary Russen program. Well, here's the solution. The best of the Gary Russen program, highlighting the most memorable parts of recent shows. Each podcast I will play clips of previous shows and talk about them. Watch for podcast uploads during the GJRB's podcast weekend on GJRB's public site on Spreaker. Reflecting on the past memories of past shows. The best of the Gary Russen program on GJRB. Suicide's increasing among the youth, and many of them playing suicide games. This has to stop. Parents, watch your kids, and if you feel there's something going on and they are considering suicide, please talk to them, help them. And if it seems hopeless, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number is 1-800-273-8255. They can help. It's free and confidential. Your call will be answered by a trained counselor in a local crisis center. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline can help.
This is Michael J. Martin, and you're listening to the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online.
And I'm back. Welcome aboard the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online on Spreaker. How you doing, everyone? Glad you could be with me on our Freestyle Friday edition of the program. We're just having a good old time talking and doing stuff this afternoon. If you'd like to be part of the show, I'd love to have you. So stick around. We've got a lot going on. Got a lot of interesting things happening today. A lot of things we're going to do. We're going to do, of course, now what I call my scroll through social media. We're going to do that. And, of course, you're a part of the show, too. And you can do that. Do that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Get in there. Probably don't even have any listeners. I'll check. Don't know. But you can be a part of the action here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the bit of a show.
Yes, thank you so much. The Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. If you want to get in on it, I'm just entering my Skype. Got to sign in, and I'll be there. Gary.Russen, or I am on Twitter, Google+, Facebook, and all over. So, you can be part of the show. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and go into my Skype right now. And see if we can get somebody in here. We're entering Skype right now. You'll hear it as it comes into the here. Let me see. You'll hear that nice little sound effect. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, here we are. Yep, Skype's there. Rare. All righty then. Got. So I'm going to show myself online. There I am, and you can contact me on Skype and get on the radio, Gary.Russen. Also in the chat room. And all you got to do when you get on the Spreaker, you'll go in there, you'll see the widget. Just click that balloon icon, it takes you right into our chat room, and you can be a part of the show there and talk about whatever you want to talk about and what's going on in the world of news right now. And just have a lot of fun with it. So, hope you'll stay with me here, the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. And that's where we have it here. Got a lot of really good things coming up, and I hope you'll stay with me for it. All afternoon here on GJRB Online, a lot of commentary, as I was talking earlier, talking about last night's telethon, if you want to call it that. I don't know. It's just I think it was just plain liberal rhetoric. That's all it is. It's just liberal rhetoric. because everything that they say on there is, if you do not agree with the fact that there is global warming, you don't agree with it, you are in denial. I mean, yeah, it's true. You're just in denial. That's what they say. If you disagree, you are in denial, folks. If you hear promos in the background, I forgot to turn my automation off, and promos just kept on playing. Sorry about that. Happens every once in a while here. Just, radio. Anyway, so we're going to talk about that. In the next hour, we'll do a little bit of news and comment. As a matter of fact, in the next hour, I'm going to do a little differently with my news and comment. I'm just going to open up the hour, and we're just going to go and start what Shepard Smith does on Fox and all the Fox News people. Late breaking headlines, a brand new feature here on the Gary Russen program. Late breaking. When it's late breaking, you'll hear this. Yeah, late breaking headlines. I don't know, I love it. I don't know, a lot of people might not like hearing that because of the storm, but yeah, that's late breaking headlines. I know, it says, stop it. Anyway, it's breaking, late breaking, yeah. Anyway, the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online across America, and I was going to get a hold of somebody today for this show, and I just got busy with all kinds of prep, and it was a moment's notice when I decided to pick this time to go back on the air. I was going to get a hold of Rachel Ozzie Jarvis in Oregon at Coos Bay, and let me, we'll talk about that fire over there. How's it going over there? You have that all contained. You gotta give me a call. Give me some kind of report on that. That would be pretty cool if you could. I have my Skype open right now. I am available on Skype. You can get in there. I am opened and on the air. So, I don't know. I wish I could leave a message like that on here. Open and on the air. I'm not sure if even if I could raise her or I'd call her on her line, I could probably try that. I might try that in the next hour if she doesn't acknowledge, because I know she's got a lot going on with her kids in the afternoon, so it's hard to say whether or not she could even do that. So yeah, we'll see. We'll look after the 3 o'clock hour and see if she can come on board and tell us what's going on in Oregon. Because I'm kind of curious myself. I'd like to know if what you've been getting. So if you could just drop me a line on that, I'd love to hear from you this afternoon. The Gary Russen program on GJRB. Thanks so much for being with me today. Happy to be a part of the show. And this is our freestyle show. Completely freestyle. Kind of like a Friday show. Only on Wednesday. So, yeah, that's how that works. It's a Friday show, but on Wednesday. If that makes sense. Okay. Completely freestyle. Just, no log. Just open wide. And just let it happen.
Great jazz on GJRB with the best of jazz, up-and-coming jazz, smooth jazz, and smooth afternoon. If you can't get enough of jazz and you live in the Quad Cities area, tune in to KALA, St. Ambrose University in Davenport, Iowa, at 88.5 on the FM dial. Along with some of that great smooth jazz, you'll hear a lot of great jazz programming. And programming in other great music formats. Like blues, urban, including rap. Also classic R&B and Motown with David Baker on Rewind, Friday nights at 6 p.m. Central. In addition, You get programming in Spanish and some great gospel programming too. For more information on that great programming you'll hear, check out their schedule at www.sau.edu/KALA. Even if you don't live in the Quad Cities area, you can enjoy KALA anywhere in the world with their internet stream. Connect with KALA. Listen and